In today's video, I'll speak on some of the players that have played in the first 3 games, some important, value picks that worked and rookies and whatnot. Speak about how we're traveling, in terms of how we're going. Put it this way, it's 3 games in and I already don't give a fuck, and we will need to make moves in round 2. So speak about that. Yeah, today went quite poorly. I took Jack Hayes out. I did tweet that I went Dixon over Hayes, backflipped at the last second on Twitter. I just thought Ryder was coming back potentially next week, if not the week after, based on what was told on Fox Footy. Unfortunately, Jack Hayes is an unbelievable player, was their best on ground, and if you don't have him, he must come in. But I'm sure most of you have him, so I'm really sorry if you took him out because of my tweet. Yeah, that was a stuff up. And then tonight's game, well, fuck Jack Crisp, seriously. I don't know why I picked him, because we knew that, I know it's round 1, but the risks with him, like if you can create a narrative as to why a player scored the way they did, he's not actually, we knew that he wasn't a great midfielder from watching tape on him, but he was really good behind the ball. And I'm not really sure he got much chance to be behind the ball tonight. And when he did find the ball, he just had some horrid clangers. So one, you give another week too, but because of the whole dynamic of that team has changed a bit with the new coach and a lot of players have shifted back, he's gone in the midfield. I'm a little lost on this one. So again, I'm very reactive, and I've made mistakes trading premiums early in the past, but there's a world where you can kind of see that this pick could be shit. I really liked his game in the Amy game. My issue with that was a lot of the good stuff he did was rebounding and setting up plays up the ground, whereas I don't know, he kind of struggled with that tonight. So I think, yeah, I'll give him another week, and I think it'll most likely a hold long term. We'll see. I know what I'm like. I'm too hot on the trades, but the whole landscape of Supercoach this year it's almost like in previous years I've felt okay overpaying a little bit here and there just for safety, for a bit of durability. But this year it's like, for example, in the rucks, we're so used to set and forget, and then I guess it was probably still the right thing. But if I knew that Jack Hayes was guaranteed in that best 22, I would have probably considered him over Gawn, because I think most of us did not want to start Gawn. It's just all the other players kind of ruled themselves out. Because we know Jack Hayes was pumping 150s in the SANFL, but the problem was I thought he was just in for Ryder. I mean, maybe even if he was, maybe that was still risky. If I knew his job security was 100%, maybe that was too risky to start him over Gawn. Maybe that, fair enough there. But still, I'm half considering going Hayes to Gawn. And when I put this in our Discord chat, they just said, "Have you learnt nothing, George?" And I'm like, maybe, but I honestly think you need to make a play this year, because defense is a shambles, because it was really hard to pick. I think Tom Stewart was the safest, but again, he's has minor durability issues, I guess, but seems like he's fine. Like Jaden Shaw, my God, I don't know how he scored 109. He was dreadful. He had 11 kick-ins, so kind of carried him. Scored like 65 Dream Team or something. And then George Hewitt was just, thank goodness for George Hewitt. Yeah, one I was reasonably confident in and exceeded my expectations, but plays the Dogs next week, so expecting a tough one. So, well, instead of going through my team, I'll kind of look through these games. So if you look at the Melbourne versus the Dogs, we see Tim English might be a bad miss. We kind of expected Tim English to do well. It's just how long does he hold the role for? Petrarca was unbelievable. So second half of last year, I think people have kind of forgotten about how good he was. But we see like he has bad disposal games, stuff like that. So it's not one I'll jump on, but looks like he can really give the top 8 a bit of a shake. So Oliver had a shocking game by his standards in terms of like free kicks against, still scored 112, so that's good. So, yeah, Gawn 92, a little bit unlucky. Probably should have got 110 if he didn't give away so many frees. So it's like, whatever. So this game wasn't too bad. The Carlton versus Richmond game was interesting. So Doherty's back to playing half-back, scored 144. So I think it's hard to say because his durability is just not great long-term. So it's hard to pick. But yeah, he's not, I don't think he's wing anymore. And then, Saad was good. I'm not going to worry about Saad too much, but, he could be good. He's a 90. He played injured last year, so see how it goes. And Cripps 132. I guess this surprises nobody based on his preseason form. It's just whether you wanted to pick him or not. So in hindsight, probably should have picked him even at the durability risk. But yeah, again, it was against a terrible midfield. And yeah, second time in a row he went off with some sort of minor knock. So I guess long term probably needs to be traded, but still good value. Hewitt was great. Matt Kennedy's like a star for draft, but you know, with Walsh coming in, maybe that hurts him. Chera's really good. So yeah, they piled on a really depleted Richmond midfield, or their midfield kind of sucks. So Dusty was alright, no tackles still. And then Jaden Shaw, I have concerns about. Yeah, it is what it is, but he had only 10 touches outside of kick-ins. Like, what the heck? But yeah, I worry just because he's a bit of a whipping boy on like Richmond forums, which you can kind of see at times. So that kind of worries me a bit. But I think he's going to get plenty of supply, and you know, it's just one game, so it's whatever. And then McGovern 70. So McGovern, even though he scored 70, I think you'd be very happy with that selection. Was off for about 15-20 minutes, so that's whatever. And then the game tonight, so St Kilda versus Collingwood. Yeah, just shambles tonight. So I have Grundy, which is great. I think everyone has Grundy. We all have Dacos, which is fine. Still 87, like worst score from him since 2020. Just, it wouldn't have hurt so bad if everyone decided to flick Steele instead of McRae when going down to 2 mids, but already down 50 points on the competition. So that's catastrophe, I guess. But he had 9 clangers, just wasn't his night. But I don't know. It wasn't amazing in the Amy games and kind of looked the same this game. So the problem with Steele is now everyone is going to get him much cheaper. Like, he could easily come out next week. He has a soft fixture, pump out a 150. He's a proud player. Just finish the game a bit slow. But like the issue is, there's so much value everywhere, and like almost in every slot in your team, apart from maybe the defense, who we just kind of have to have a just deal with the defenders we've got. You feel like you need to have value just about everywhere, except for maybe Grundy. So, yeah, it's a tough one this year because there's a lot of players that I could have on field or in the midfield that could be making a hell of a lot of money rather than having a 700k player decline. So, should I trade Steele? No. Yeah, he'll bounce back. But you can see my concerns. It's, you know, if everyone gets him for sub 600k again, that's really going to sting really badly. So we'll see if we can make moves of picks of significant value. Otherwise, yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, it's still the end of the game. So they're not even halfway through the round and already making silly assumptions. So we'll call the Jets and be level-headed on Monday, I think. And then this one pissed me off hard. Not pissed me off because I was really happy to see Pat Lip dominate against, let's be real, really average St Kilda midfield. But 133 from Pat Lip. If he didn't roll his ankle, I guess even if he did, like, well, with Pat Lip, it's just so hard because given Rao's performance, I think we all wanted to go at least 2 mids plus Berry and all the draftees. I think we wanted this on-field setup, so it would have been very hard to fit Pat Lipinski anyway. But all I wanted to see was Pat Lip versus a good team, and late in the first quarter, his ankle got kicked in really, really hard, and we didn't get to see a good sample against a good team. So I opted to play it safe and not pick him. So I did love Pat Lip all preseason. I talked him up on every podcast every time I got the chance. People gave him a bit of shit for it, but now you can see the boy can play. So because I don't give much of a fuck at the moment, I will do my best to bring him in. I don't know how, but we'll figure something out. So excuse my language tonight. That's alright. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just a bit of a random video, a bit unstructured. And then Jack Chris, fucking hell. It's 1 week, it's important to call the Jets, trust your premiums, but yeah, Chris I'm worried about, Jack still will be fine. So, see how we go. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching the video. Let me know how you're going so far. And yeah, see how we go. But yeah, if I do things wrong, like I think I do get piled on for things that, you know, if things go wrong, will get piled on for it, but that's okay. Like, part of being a, I guess, influence on the community or whatnot, or having some sort of standing in the community. So all I can say is I need Isaac to save my ass tomorrow. If Isaac goes bad, we're in big trouble. But yeah, I love Isaac. I got belief in him. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.